Okay, bam. We have a title. It say why women of color, you people, why women of color are trying to get out of the United States. So they're saying why is black women trying to leave the United States? You know, get out, like the movie. Get out of the United States. I saw this right here earlier this morning, and I was like, well, let's see what they're talking about. Here you go.
This is like heaven right now.
Yeah.
Alexis Bromley is from Nebraska. She needed a break from white people.
In Omaha, it's very segregated. It can be very isolating if you're a person of color. It's hard in Nebraska because it's a red state.
It's hard in Nebraska because it's a red state and it's very segregated. Isn't segregated means that we like separated, like the blacks be with the blacks and the whites be with like the whites? Isn't that what segregated? Because we fought for integration, right? So segregation means that you were separated. So how is it hard? I don't.
From white people.
In Omaha, it's very segregated. It can be very isolating if you're a person of color.
Okay.
It's hard in Nebraska because it's a red state. And so you just don't know who you interact with on a daily basis, if they believe that you're lesser, if you're inferior, and how that in turn can affect me.
What?
Who you interact with on a daily basis, if they believe that you're lesser, if you're inferior, and how that in
You
turn
worrying about if people believe that if you is lesser of a person in the 2000s? Like, really?
can affect me.
She says the current political climate has only made these feelings worse.
Oh, my bad. This was from 6 years ago. This is my first time seeing it, though.
So she decided to go on a women of color healing retreat in Costa Rica.
Hi, such beautiful smiles.
Women of color healing retreat. I shit you not. Go ahead.
Thank you guys so much for coming. My blackness is bold.
My blackness is uninhibited.
My blackness is strength.
The idea is simple. For 10 days,
Anybody be black. I don't like this about us people.
Thank you guys so much for coming. My blackness is bold.
My blackness is uninhibited.
My blackness is strength.
She's black? This baby right here is black? I can't believe it. And do y'all understand now? Now, because women may call her black, right? But if a black man choose her, it's something wrong with him. He's color struck, or he's doing something with he is a colorist or something like that right there. Mulatto women is not black. Oh my God, I can't believe that. You say she black and white. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand.
the idea is simple. For 10 days, black women come together to eat vegan food, meditate, do yoga.
For 10 days. Okay, a nice little retreat. They eating vegan. Got it.
Breath in is the reminder that we are safe.
And to discuss the frustrations of being black in America.
It's like a mental game all the time, and I'm in these spaces where, constantly getting poked and prodded. Oh, let me touch your hair. Oh, you're really pretty for a black girl. Black people don't.
So that just happens to y'all every day. Like, oh my God, you're pretty for a black girl. While being light-skinned it. You pretty for a black girl. Ooh, let me touch your hair. This happening every day?
Constantly getting poked and prodded. Oh, let me touch your hair. Oh, you're really pretty for a black girl. Black people don't exercise. Black people don't hike. People are automatically going to have this perception of me before I even open my mouth.
Yes, black women don't exercise. Black women don't hike. You know that's a generality and or a stereotype, right? And stereotypes, they come from somewhere. Black women are the most obese in the great United States of America. That means that they don't exercise as a whole. In general, they don't exercise. Black women don't hike. I don't know, but I would say black women don't hike. I don't think black women is out here hiking like this right here. And watch this. I could be wrong, but I don't think black women hike. Now, just because she may exercise, she feels offended by somebody saying that black women don't exercise. But y'all don't, according to the numbers.
Getting poked and prodded. Oh, let me touch your hair. Oh, you're really pretty for a black girl. Black people don't exercise. Black people don't hike. People are
I'm glad that you said that right there. So black women are usually ugly because she said, "Oh, you pretty for a black girl." This is how people is coming up to y'all. All right. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. I'm just saying.
Automatically gonna have this perception of me before I even open my mouth.
So many people's ideologies are being validated.
She's a black woman. Wow.
That don't see us as human, that don't see us as people.
Who don't see y'all as human? Does she know that women has more rights than men? Even black ones, even mulattoes have more rights than men. They don't see y'all as human? Who is they?
This retreat is one of more than a dozen black-owned travel groups, marketing trips specifically to people who look like Alexis. In the few years that most of these companies have been open, more and more clients are calling them up. At least 5 say they've seen a spike in interest coinciding with Trump's election.
The idea of black women reclaiming control over their own mind, body, and spirit is exactly what's needed to survive in a system that constantly tells us that our wellness isn't important.
Who tell y'all wellness isn't important? Hell, doctors can't even tell y'all that y'all is obese without y'all getting mad. What is she talking about? Oh my God, she's just making shit up. But you can do that with our sisters.
Claiming control over their own mind, body, and spirit.
So you can't claim control of your own mind, body, and spirit in the United States?
Exactly what's needed to survive in a system that constantly tells us that our wellness isn't important.
I don't know who telling y'all that, baby. I truly don't know who is telling y'all that. But if white people is telling y'all that, watch this. Black people's on the internet too. Black people have exercise channels. Black people have health channels. All on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Why is you not listening to them people instead of listening to, I'm guessing the white people is telling y'all about y'all? I don't understand. I don't get it.
Over their own mind, body, and spirit is exactly what's needed to survive in a system that constantly tells us that our wellness isn't important.
Yes, and they Trump bashing too. Remember, this was 6 years ago.
We stopped taking care of ourselves because we were taught you don't matter.
Ladies, I don't even want to get offended. I don't even want to get upset. Is she correct? Is she correct with what she just said?
In a system that constantly tells us that our wellness isn't important. We stopped taking care of ourselves because we were taught you don't matter.
Black women stopped taking care of themselves because they was taught that they don't matter. Where did y'all get this teaching from? I don't understand. And I don't think that women will agree with that right there, but I could be wrong.
The retreat is the brainchild of Andrea X, a former Brooklynite turned expat.
I left the United States because I was sick of gentrification, racism.
You left the United States, you were tired of gentrification. You mean people coming in and buying up property that people is selling? That's what you... Go ahead, baby.
Just dealing with being this black woman, trying to figure it out there.
It was 2014, and she just lost her job as a healthcare facilitator. What started off as a vacation in Costa Rica became her entire new life.
So you lost your job and went on vacation. You say, Willie, this is what happens when you give these broads power. They won't stop until they have total dominion. They must be stopped. I don't know who's telling these babies this right here. He said, I bet you a white person invited this, invented this retreat so they could remember where they come from.
She used all of her personal savings to form this retreat.
We needed a safe space that was outside of the United States to hold certain conversations and just to heal. I don't think that...
They needed to go to Costa Rica They needed to leave the United States so they can have a safe place to have conversations. Oh shit! Oh, excuse me. Oh, didn't mean to cuss. You did. Do you understand that if she would have not gotten fired, she would have not went to Costa Rica and started what she had started? But after she got fired, she decided to move to Costa Rica. Well, she was on vacation, and then it turned into her building this like retreat thing. And she needed to do that there in the Great United States, so outside of the Great United States in Costa Rica, so she can have a safe place to talk. Shout out to the Archer for the $5 Rumble rant. He say, do these women know that the only place they matter is here? The only place they can have a nasty attitude is here. That's factual. Oh, that's factual right there.
We can do that in the United States. I think that we're suffering and suffocating and just dying every single day trying to survive there.
You don't have a safe place to talk? To have a conversation? What is she talking? Do y'all know that black women is a protected class on the internet? There's certain things that you can't say or you will be demonetized, especially on YT. You will be demonetized and you can get strikes. Talking about black women in a unpolite way sometimes.
And not every woman can afford to come out to Costa Rica. What can we do for the racism they experience? For women who can't afford to be part of your retreat.
I think that it's important for people in the United States, black and POC people, to start forming their own spaces there.
Easier.
Black and POC, a point of, I don't. Oh, people of color. All right, go ahead.
Said than done. White Americans find themselves in white-only meetings and places all the time, without even trying or noticing. When black people want a break from feeling like a minority, they often have to make an effort. Alexis made the effort, and it cost her $2,222.
When they don't want to feel like a minority, what?
When black people want a break from feeling like a minority, they often have to make an effort. Alexis made the effort.
They don't know if they go to another country, they are still a minority, but in another country. Because I don't care which country you go to, you are still a American. Those people don't look at you as, now you're Costa Rican. No, you is a real minority in another country.
Cost her $2,222. But for her and several other women, that's a reasonable price to pay for a retreat that bans white people.
This is a retreat that bans white people. I want y'all to understand what just happened. This retreat bans white people. So should people call them racist? Because if white people said out loud that they have a retreat that bans black people, we would call them racist. So why aren't people calling them racist?
White people on this trip ruin it.
Oh, hold on. Why will white people on this trip ruin it?
Would having white people on this trip ruin it?
I want my money back. Yeah, I don't think.
Say, I will want my money back. Wow.
We will be as open and as honest as we are with the group that we're in now.
Yeah.
Do you all feel like you've been stereotyped?
One thing I always got is you're so well spoken, and I don't think people understand how insulting that is. What else would you expect from me?
You're not black. Do y'all see her hair? Baby, not even black. You're so well spoken. Okay. Go ahead.
I'm curious if it's been no different for you since the election of President Trump.
We're black, we knew that racism has been around, but it's a bit more in our face now.
Racism is a bit more in your face now since Trump is in office. Remember, y'all, this is 6 years ago. He say this woman built a business on fleecing black women. $2,000 a trip. Yep. This black woman created a business and they don't even understand. You can play on black women's emotions just like the Democrat Party has done forever.
made me had to pivot my interactions with people. And like, you know, people who actually support Trump. Like, I can't trust you on friendship level, family level.
You can't trust a person because they side with Trump or they voted for Trump. You can't trust a person. And this is why people, they keep who they vote for a secret. Let me enlighten you beautiful babies. A lot of people who you can have conversations with, a lot of people who you was down with, and you think that they voted like you, a lot of them didn't. They would just never tell you.
Level, if you actually are supporting someone that, you know, is completely racist.
If you are supporting someone who is completely racist, it'd be a shame to be cute and stupid at the same time. It's a shame. We expect handsome babies to be handsome and stupid. Shout out to Fly 12 for the $1 Rumble rant. He said, I can't trust a bitch with blue braids. You know what I'm saying? Come on, baby. You got blue braids and you mad at somebody for voting for Trump.
Some of that anxiety, what you feel you need to heal from here?
We're looking for ways to coping mechanisms.
She's looking for coping mechanisms and she's out of Chicago. Girl.
You know, and ways to take care of ourselves.
Ways to take... We're looking for coping mechanism and ways to take care of ourselves. Baby, you look to be like you in your 40s. You ain't figured this shit out yet? Use the problem.
Because we're not on the agenda.
Do you feel like you've increasingly lost the ability to see any shot at a relationship with white people?
Every time I have a conversation with them, I just pick up on certain things that they say, whatever. I pick up on the microaggressions, the passive aggressiveness. I pick up on it. So I decided one day to just eliminate white people from my personal life.
So, question. So, do you pick it up from non-white people? Do you pay attention to their passive aggressive or their passive aggressiveness? Do you do that? I'm pretty sure she don't.
And ever since then, my life has been way more breezy.
Do you think it's at all possible that the fact that white racism, white people have sort of made you leave the U.S., start your whole life over somewhere else, feel the need to avoid them, means that they've won?
They didn't push me out the United States.
They didn't push you out the United States, but you made yourself leave because you're having all these issues in the United States. You're talking about white racism, and you moved to Costa Rica. You don't think that that's a push out of the United States?
It's at all possible that the fact that white racism, white people have sort of made you leave the U.S., start your whole life over somewhere else, feel the need to avoid them, means that they've won?
They didn't push me out the United States. Because if that's the case, they could push me out of any of these countries because they are here. They're everywhere. You know, I feel like white people shouldn't even have passports.
I'm glad that she corrected. I'm glad that I let her keep talking. She said, no, I don't feel like they push me out because they can push me out of anywhere because they're here too. They're in Costa Rica also. White people are everywhere. So why would you leave the great United States of America to go to Costa Rica? To where white folks is in Costa Rica also? Hey, listen, I just be telling y'all. Just listen. And they're talking about white folks while in a group with mulattoes, while in a group with mixed women, while in a group with women who is part or half white.
And push me out.
Or have white ancestry. No.
The United States. Because if that's the case, they could push me out of any of these countries because they are here. They're everywhere. You know, I feel like white people shouldn't even have passports.
And listen, you can have your feeling. You can do all that right there. But if a white person said the same thing about black folks, they would be called racist.
Because they've done enough, especially white Americans, leave them in the United States. They do not need to come here. They should be even able to travel. They need to stay.
And you know what's crazy? A lot of people in other countries think the same about black people. Them black Americans, they need to stay in America. They should not be coming over to our countries.
United States.
But to a white person who's doing their best to be the best white person they can be.
I have no tips for a white person.
I have no tips for a white person. Keep talking.
My tip to white people.
Oh, I can't even make this stuff up. Y'all listen to the words.
Able to travel. They need to stay in the United States.
But to a white person who's doing their best to be the best white person they can be.
I have no tips for a white person. My tip to white people.
I have no tips to a white person. My tips to white people is
to let us have our space. Let us have our room.
Leave us alone. Let us have our space. Let us have our room. Oh.
And go hang out with other white people.
Go hang out with other white people. Listen, you have the right to feel this way. You have the right to speak this way. My only issue is why she is not being called racist. If the shoe was on the other foot, they'd be called racist.
We're okay. You know, you've done enough damage.
Done enough damage. I want y'all to understand what we're looking at. They're at a retreat with mixed women who have white ancestry. Talking about white people is the problem.
This retreat, much to Andrea's dismay, is held at a white-owned resort.
Motherfucker, what? What did she just...
This retreat, much to Andrea's dismay, is held at a white-owned resort. That doesn't bother the retreat participants. They haven't cut white people out full-time.
Oh my God. Listen, do y'all understand what just happened? I thought that she used her savings and all that stuff to create a safe space. A place for colored women. I thought, hell, she possibly bought some land or something like that because you use her savings to create this place. Got to be more careful. The place is owned by white people. I don't understand. And then they say that the black people here, they have no problem by it being white owned. Wait a minute. Say it again.
This retreat, much to Andrea's dismay, is held at a white-owned resort.
White-owned resort. I thought she used her money for a black-owned resort. He said, I told you a white person owned this. You were absolutely correct. You were absolutely correct. Wow.
That doesn't bother the retreat participants.
That don't bother the other bitch who was out here crying about white folk. What? White-owned resort. Watch this. It's $2,000 and I think $20. So the money goes to the resort. The money don't go to the black woman with the head wrap who they say used her money to create this retreat. Maybe part of it does, but you have to pay for the space. So the majority of the $2,000 will be going to white people.
They haven't cut white people out full time.
No shit.
20 minutes down the road, Andrea and a business partner have quietly invested nearly $100,000 to build up their own private retreat space.
Her and the business partner, roughly $100,000. They put $100,000 together to build their own retreat space.
Have quietly invested nearly $100,000 to build up their own private retreat space.
This is where we'll have the workshops.
Is this just like a long con to start building your own black nation out in the middle of Costa Rica?
It is.
Starting with yoga. Yeah. Next is going to be like a mini government.
I don't want to have a mini government, but at the same time, it will be a community of just like black people living here.
What would you say to someone who's like, you know,
say women can be so gullible? Yes. And this is why the majority of women, they should not lead.
nice as this sounds like paradise for black people, in some ways, like, it's motivated by the same hate that white people who want to create white nations and white spaces have.
Yes, I'm glad she said it. In most ways, this is motivated by, which people call it hate, that people want to be separate, which I don't think that that's hate. I just think, just like she's saying, they just want to be separate. But we would call, when white folks want to be separate, hate. This got to be the stupidest shit ever, but go ahead.
Motivated by the same hate that white people who want to create white nations and white spaces have.
I would say it doesn't have anything to do with them. This is about us healing our community.
Is it
can't heal our community in Costa Rica? Listen, you say she's creating her own cult. If I'm not mistaken, isn't this where Elysial them was? Carbon Nation, where all of the men and the women, they left the United States to go to Costa Rica because the United States is Babylon. Remember? So she's starting her own thing in Costa Rica. Her own cult.
practical to create a black nation in the middle of a jungle? Or to chase all white people off your property? Probably not, and most black people don't want to do that. But the feelings of isolation that drove Andrea to build her own community aren't that different from what drove Alexis to this retreat in the first place.
I can almost guarantee the majority of the items that there's wearing comes from white business owners.
Andrea has completely given up on the U.S.
I don't blame her. I have been places outside of the U.S. where I have felt more at home and more included than I have ever in my community.
Because you're a tourist.
Is that an upsetting thing? You know, you say it with like this serene face, but to like
say creating a black nation in a Latin island. Okay, like that just make all the sense, right?
go visit somewhere that you're not a citizen of and feel more at home than you do in your own country.
Yeah, that's reality.
I thought about that right there too. You say, I thought she was Carbon Nation. Just by me seeing her, and as another reminder, this was 6 years ago. But by me seeing her, that was like my first thought. I thought that she was a part of Carbon Nation.
Unfortunately, that's the reality of our country.
So y'all just wanted like some me time in another country, basically. That's really all. Hey man, you could do what you want to do, I guess, with your life. You can leave, you can move, and I don't understand, but to say that we wanted, she moved way out there to create a space to where they can have conversations. That just threw me off. Like, y'all can't talk in the United States. I am so confused. Don't y'all have homes to where y'all can have these women to come to y'all homes? Y'all can have homes. Well, if y'all still in the United States, then y'all have bought homes, right? Because y'all have nice jobs and all this good stuff. Well, she had done lost her job. But for the other women, they have homes and stuff. And all y'all have to do is like do like a big sleepover. So y'all can be in a safe space to have conversations. It's cost y'all over $2,000 to talk. Y'all tell me what y'all think in the comment section, man. I'm out of here.